One.
Good afternoon, practice members. This is Dr. Chris from Danette Family Chiropractic, and I have the honor to be speaking today with one of my good friends and mentors, Dr. Lisa Geiger.
Hello,
Dr.
Dr.
Lisa,
Chris.
hello. Dr. Lisa is a practicing chiropractor in Brookline, Massachusetts, and she's been kind of everywhere. She went to school for chiropractic out in California. And then you were in Scotland for a while, and then you were in Sweden for a while, and then you're back here.
Yes.
So you've been around the world for chiropractic, and you also speak to people around the world about specifically pediatric and pregnancy chiropractic.
Absolutely.
I think what percentage of pregnant women and children make up your office?
We're at a nice 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. So pregnant ladies, and then the inevitable children that come out of them, and then anyone else who wanders in.
Awesome. Which is pretty unusual for a chiropractic practice. Our practice is amazing if anybody wants to check it out. Anyway, today we're talking about how chiropractic can help with breastfeeding issues. Yes. And you're kind of the expert on all that. So let's start out with, why do you think breastfeeding issues are so common with women today? Because it seems like on every mom's forum, there's always a bunch of moms just struggling with this issue. So why do you think that is?
Well, I think there's a couple answers to that. It depends how far back you want to take your interest. You could say just in the latch itself, there's so many challenges to latch these days. But also in the pregnancy, the moms are more sedentary. The birth practices have changed. Induction, Pitocin, on the way out. And so if a baby has a very twisty, pulley, long birth, mom will go around going, oh, my pelvis, what a time I had. But you have to remember, everything that the mom did, the baby did with their head. It's a lot like Fred Astaire, that wonderful dancer?
Yes.
Everything that he did, Ginger Rogers did backwards and in high heels. Everything a mom did with her pelvis, vagina, and laboring body, that little baby did with their head. And so that's why, of course, the logical move is, when you get the baby checked by the chiropractor, make sure it's somebody with a lot of pediatric training, so that that baby can be well lined up and able to mechanically and neurologically do all the things they want to do, which include sleeping, pooping, digesting, and latching. Now, the latch itself these days, a lot of times I see a lot of babies who are having what's called a torticollis. Big, crazy word, sounds like turtleneck, but it's torticollis. And it means that the baby really is just looking in one direction and not able to look in the other direction. And when that happens, the jaw gets very tight and the throat gets very tight. And that would make it hard for anybody to suck down a bottle of bubbly water, let alone latch properly onto a breast.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into a latch.
There really is. There's like 12 steps that have to happen, one after another, like dominoes. And that's where the nerves come in. They're the traffic cops. They're the coordinators. And so if things either aren't working in the right order, or if the jaw's not opening properly, it's going to feel very pinchy, very flat nipple. And this is when a lot of people are like, well, let's just, it must be a tongue tie. Let's go cut it. But we've learned, and we've seen again and again in the research, that you have to clear out any mechanical stuff before you can accurately assess, if you should cut something or not. There's too many things that look like a tongue tie that aren't. We call it a faux tie instead of a bow tie. And if you have a faux tie and you cut it, you're looking for problems down the road, because now you've cut something that needed to be not cut. So we always want to look for Jet syndrome. Jet syndrome is a really easy thing for all the moms to use. So J is for the jaw. If your little baby yawns and the jaw goes off to the side, that's not normal.
It's adorable, though.
It is. It's cute. It makes for a great baby announcement picture, but no. E is for the eye. So if one eye is bigger than the other, like a pirate, arr, or a car salesman, hey, buddy, you want to buy a car? Then that, again, is not in balance. Like a little baby works better when they're in balance. And then T is for if they're turned or tilted or twisted all the time, always look in one direction. But that's just, that's going to put a lot of strain on the baby's throat and swallowing mechanism as well. So if you see a baby with one of these things, the jaw, the eye, or the turn tilted or twisted, you really should get them checked by a body worker, by a chiropractor, to make sure they're in balance before you assess whether something is tight or not, so whether something should be cut or not.
Yes, and what we'll do is we will post some pictures on the comment section or on my Facebook page at the Family Chiropractic, so you guys can see these different things that Dr. was talking about.
Absolutely, sure. We like to put tools in the hands of the mamas, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And the more times you can recognize this, the more babies you can help. Because you can always cut a tongue tie later, but you can't take it back.
Right.
And especially, I know you see it in your office, and I see it in my office. These kids that are getting their ties cut twice, 3 times, 4 times.
5 is our record.
Yeah, which is unbelievable. It's
right.
It's kind of starting to become an epidemic. If you cut something that needs to be cut, it's great. But if you cut something and don't address the mechanical issues below it, you're just going to have to keep cutting and cutting and cutting.
Exactly. Now, when we post these pictures, Dr. Chris, what kind of car do you guys drive?
We drive a Toyota Sienna.
Okay. And so once you started driving it, what kind of car did you see everywhere?
We see Sienna.
Distortions in the baby's face, you're going to see them everywhere. Now you can't unsee them. You're going to get baby announcements from your friends, and you'll be like, hey, pirate eye, you know. And so once you start seeing this, the words that you want to use with your friends is, hey, did you consult with your chiropractor about that yet? Because we're the ones who are trained to detect this stuff and resolve it so your baby can really get down to what their true settings are.
And can you describe a little bit about how the chiropractic adjustment helps?
Oh, sure.
And also what an adjustment on an infant looks like.
Sure. An adjustment on an infant looks a lot like you're checking a very cute tomato for ripeness. So it's really gentle. If you want to feel the pressure we use, close your eye and gently put your fingers on the eyeball. And that's all the pressure we would ever use. There's no popping or twisting or sudden movements or any of the crazy stuff you might associate. Some people think chiropractic and babies, and they see a gorgeous newborn infant in Arnold Schwarzenegger's hands, and it's just not that. It's just not. So this may be a new path for some of you, but so is motherhood. So let us help you find the right way back to the ease and joy that you really deserve to have in that moment when you're trying to connect with your baby. By the time the moms get to us, they are tired and the dads are exhausted and everybody's a little desperate for something easy, and you want to be successful and you want to feel like you tried your best. And this is a really good step along that process.
Absolutely. And I know that I'm always educating my patients to tell you about what chiropractic does. And chiropractic is focused on the spine because it houses the nervous system. And your nervous system controls everything. All those muscles in the jaw and the neck are all controlled by nerves. So control that everything's in alignment so that the nervous system works the way it should.
Right. And the implications of what that looks like in real life is everything has to happen like dominoes. A, then B, then C, then D. And if the nerve's being irritated, Dr. Chris, can they go in the right order?
No.
No, not even a chance in hell. And there's 12 steps involved in a proper latch. This is probably a lot of information, but why not get it out there?
Do it.
First, the jaw has to open. And that's tricky if it's stuck and they have jet. That's just a no-go from the start. And then the tongue has to get out of the way, and the nipple comes in, and the jaw comes up, and the tongue comes up, and it curls up on the side, and the lips tighten and make a seal, and they have to hold that seal in order for the milk to flow. And then there's a rippling motion from front to back, and then there's sucking and swallowing, and it's not supposed to come out the nose. You know, your nose or the baby's nose. And if those don't happen in the right order, then it either doesn't effectively transfer milk, or the baby exhausts and dozes off after about 3 sucks. Because it's like going uphill on a bike when you're in the wrong gear. It's way more effort than it should be. And this is cool stuff. Dr. Chris is amazing with the babies. I have watched her over the years, and she is far and away just so skilled with those magic hands of hers.
Well, thank you. And I had a good teacher.
And what?
I had an excellent teacher.
You had many. Yeah.
So if somebody's looking for a good pediatric chiropractor, where would they turn?
All right. It's an organization called the ICPA, the International Chiropractic Pediatric Association. I always get the Village People song. You know, it's fun to work with babies at the ICPA. And you go to ICPA 4, the number 4, kids.org. And that is where you'll be able to search by zip code for a chiropractor who's really trained in this stuff, really knows their stuff. And the chiropractors on this website will also be trained in Webster if your baby hasn't come out yet. Webster is a technique that balances the pelvis so things happen better with better outcomes, safer results. So ICPA for kids.org.
Perfect. Anything else you want to tell our moms?
We work with our moms in my office and have them come into the office after the birth. Like we're talking on the way home from the hospital if you didn't have a home birth. We check the baby and the mom on the way home from the hospital. And I know those parents are thinking nothing more than I want to be in my own bed. Absolutely. But we have them stop by. It's a lovely moment. We're available by text in this situation and try and accommodate people. And I have yet to have a mom not make this sound, oh, thank God, after we adjust them, you know, which is just kind of how you want to start your home relationship with your baby and your partner, right? So if you have any questions, it's really obvious that Dr. Chris and I love to talk. Reach out to us. We'll communicate with you about any questions you have. Our families tend to be happier, healthier. They get more sleep because the baby is having more ease. So that's all I'll say is that this is an extraordinary resource that is getting utilized more and more by people every day as they realize the value of it.
Absolutely.
Oh, and for those of you who like to change their oil before the car engine freezes up, come in before the birth. Come in and get checked while you're pregnant. I mean, personally, Dr. Chris, I like to be there at conception if possible, but that gets awkward. So come in sometime after that or even before that so we can get your nerve system working right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I did another interview with you just about Webster. And for those of you who are interested, you can go to my website, JeanetteFamilyChiropractic.com. And if you scroll through the videos, you'll be able to see interview with Dr. Lisa Webster.
Nice.
Great.
Their website is so beautiful. Dr. Chris did an amazing job.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right. We are here to help you and your families live healthier lives. This is Dr. Chris from Jeanette Family Chiropractic in Easton, Massachusetts. Make it a great weekend.
Have a good day.